Hello and welcome to the Black Dog number 329, I think.
Is it?
I think it is.
Oh,
Hold on, let me have a look again.
Keep track.
Yeah, 329. Woo. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
Yo, blood.
Putting on the reds.
That's blood. Nice.
I'm Barbara Woodhouse.
And I'm Bristly.
Hello, Bristly. What was the name of the dog from Heart to Heart?
That was Freeway.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
This is Mrs. H. She's gorgeous.
When they got together, it was
Moida. Spell Moider.
Moida.
Moida. And you got Moida.
Moida.
You got to have your mouth over this side of your face. Moida.
Right. Like you're having a stroke.
Like you're the elephant man.
Too soon, Dal. Too soon.
I'm not an animal. I'm that bloke off of Heart to Heart. Listen. It was Moida.
Nice. Anyway, welcome to episode 329. The first of our, was it?
It was Jessica Fletcher's Guide to the Apocalypse.
Thank you. I'm glad you reminded me.
Yep.
Which will be Boy and His Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Boy and His Biscuit Barrel.
Arsehole and His Mutt.
Yep.
Yes. So that'll be good. We'll be reviewing
Boy
that.
and His rather trained animal.
Yeah. Don't worry about me. You go down into the darkness. I'll just be here. You could have patched me up, you fucker. Clang.
I was in Citizen Kane, don't you know?
Now I'm a dog defending against a green lamp. Right.
This week, are we shutting the bunker of Shun and having the bunker of Cum instead?
Oh, that was very smoothly done there, Jim.
God.
Smoother than silk. In fact, it was
Man's-
cooler than ice.
Oh God. Well, at least it wasn't man silk. Anyway. Anyway, we'll find out how everyone's week's been first before we get to that.
Are we having Pump It Up by Elvis Costello as the player tune on this one?
I was going to say Ernie, the fastest milkman in the West. We could...
White lines.
See,
Don't do it.
Oh my God.
we could have done the parody of Different Strokes, the actual theme tune to that, called it Vinegar Strokes.
Pump up the jam.
Nirvana and Rape Me.
Oh my God.
Oh, no. Oh, now you've taken it too far.
Yeah.
It's
It was
subtle humour, sir. Subtle.
We were doing okay, and then you just come and brought the whole thing down.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Just... You raise me up. Just maybe that. I don't know. Yeah. Coming up by Wings. Paul McCartney and Wings coming up. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sure there's a song about drains, but I'm not going to go there. Anyway, so
I've got my brain on that one there.
yeah,
I'll
you
think
get
I'll
on
figure
that.
one.
Yeah, you get on that. So while Darren's thinking about various song-based puns about being used as a post-apocalyptic fleshlight and collection material, let's find out how everyone's week's been, and we'll start with you, Elton. How's your week been, sir?
It was entertaining, shall we say. A lot of it, well, most of all the fun stuff is crossover with Darren.
Yes, it is. We've got a crossover episode. It's like that time when Jessica Fletcher and Magnum did the crossover. You see, for their shows.
Didn't Magnum spend most of it in jail though?
Yes, because that was her show, and then conveniently, when it was his show, he got out and had to.
And she spent it all the time. In jail.
She was away in a cabin somewhere on a phone. Get me some Weetabix.
Anyway.
Oh, and while you're at it, can I have a box of cornettos? Thank you.
How's your week, Ellen?
Well, the most interesting thing, we had an impromptu drink up on the Saturday night where we got to see the meteorites flying through the sky.
The
at one point.
meteorites.
Oh, the Perseids.
Yes.
Yeah.
You actually saw some?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I saw one.
We saw many.
Yes, we did.
Oh, well, obviously, Yeldham's much better than bloody Bristol.
Actually, it was.
I saw none, thanks to the lovely weather up here.
We had no light pollution whatsoever, but it got a bit creepy because the things went off, and it's like, I'm thinking, Day of the Triffids.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, this strange cloud bank rolled in.
Yeah.
Oh shit, here we go. But then it went by.
Nice.
And I laid there wondering at the majesty of the universe.
Yeah, we had the hobo bin full ablaze at one point. Marshmallows out, s'mores going. and
Oh,
then-
they were lovely.
The hobo bin. You have a bin for hobos.
Yeah, just in case the odd Yeldham hobo wants to frequent my front garden.
Oh, I
we
thought
have a bin.
that's not what you told me on Saturday. You said I get them and I chuck them in there.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, of course. No, you wouldn't, Elton. It's all right. Secrets are me.
Thank you. Yeah, that was about as fun as it got, I suppose. Nothing really else has happened.
No.
No mishaps taking all the booby traps down after your week being Elton alone?
Oh, no. No, that was all right, actually. That went quite smoothly, shall we say. No, that was it. It's very quiet for me this time round.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Well, then, over to you then, Jim. How was your week, sir?
Oh, it's been absolutely shit.
Oh, God.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I've still got a barking dog problem, which I'm horribly underslept still.
Great.
And I've also had long story short, last week my sister was complaining about having blurry vision. This week, she was rushed to hospital for a brain scan as she lost the vision completely all of a sudden.
Oh, shit.
So it was a very, very long weekend waiting for updates as she went from one hospital to another hospital that had better neurology and having tests. But it's they found out what the problem was, and it wasn't a tumour, thankfully, causing the pressure. And
Right.
it's like some sort of infection. It's inflamed the optic nerve, so she had to have several lumbar punctures, which essentially
Oh, shit.
little version of spinal taps to bring down
Man.
the cranial pressure. But the discharge of today, and the vision is sort of nearly completely back, and
Cool.
thankfully,
Yeah, thank Christ.
but obviously she's going to be on a lot of drugs to control it till it clears up or subsides. So
Bloody hell.
yeah, so it's a very, very been a long few weeks for me.
You know what?
Jesus.
I don't know the details of a lumbar punch, but just the name lumbar punch just does not sound
Oh,
like it's
man.
going to be happy.
You don't want any of that shit, man.
Yeah,
that's
man.
bad news. That is bad news. Oh, right. So we'll skip lightly over the rest of your week then, I guess.
Well,
shall
the other thing on the upside,
we? Yeah.
I have had an insight into what it's like to be famous.
Oh, go on.
Really?
Friday morning, just as a laugh, I posted a picture I'd seen on a Facebook group of historical photos
Mm-hmm.
of an old Frenchman in the 19th century with a massive beard and a little cat poking out of it.
Right.
People liked that picture.
Yes.
They liked it a lot.
Yeah.
About an hour afterwards, my mentions feed on Twitter was just so-and-so like this, so-and-so retweeted this. So I was treated by several famous people
Nice.
on the nice side of things. Mark Gatiss.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's nice. Louise Mensch retweeted it.
Nice.
It's only today is the feed actually starting to subside, although the Catman is still being retweeted.
He's a cat man.
He's like, Mark Morrison. Them two should get together and make a record.
Yeah, the cat man. So is that so now you is that your photo, or is it just a photo that you found and just posted
Just
up?
a
Or
photo I found on a history group. I thought, oh, that's funny. I stuck it up, and I thought a couple of people would like it. I didn't expect 4 days later it's still. I don't know how many times it's been retweeted now.
bloody hell.
It's just still going.
Nice. Wow.
Well done, that man.
It's been very strange.
I thought
Particularly when it was literally ticking in at a couple of seconds throughout all Saturday and Sunday.
Wow. I thought I was doing well with 12 retweets for Wubba Lubba Dub Dub.
But yes, it is proof that, cat pictures are vital and probably indeed most of the internet.
Yeah. When the apocalypse does
they
come,
are.
we will be trading in cat pictures.
We
and
will.
you will be king. You will be king of the cat pictures.
He has got another. It'll be like that scene from A Boy and His Dog, where he's sort of like he hands that bloke the cans, but it'll be like how cute the pictures are.
Exactly. Look at this one. Oh, he's only got a piano cat, guys. Don't let him in. Oh, hold on. No, he's got a grumpy cat. He's got a grumpy cat with a hat. Okay, fine. We'll let him have some popcorn.
Yeah, there we go. Have some corn of popping.
Nice. Oh well, good work on that then. At least.
I'll put the picture in the chat if you've not seen.
Yeah, do so, and then yeah.
Yeah, please do. Let's see this.
Apparently his beard was 11 foot long.
What?
Oh my shit! Look at that.
He used to be in ZZ Top, didn't he?
I was gonna say that looks like an early picture of Alan Moore, to be honest. Alan Moore when he was still a bus driver or something.
At the
I had
moment,
quite a few people asked if it was George R. Martin.
Although I look into his face and it's like, talking during a movie? That's a peddling. Picking your nose?
at the
That's a
moment
peddling.
it stands at 6,000, over 6,000 retweets,
Jeez.
15,000 likes, and 233 comments.
Fucking hell.
Well, there you go. That's certainly something. Like I say, I thought I was doing with Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. I thought I was finding out that Google translated that into "I'm in pain, I need help."
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, no, it does. If you do that, if you go into Google,
What kind of
Hold on,
is that
yeah.
translating from?
hold on, wait. It speaks bird person. That's what it is. If I go hold on, I'm going to do it. Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. Right, I'm putting that into Google. If I put that into Google rather than just have it fix it. Hold on. And I just go to Google and I drop that in and I go Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, hit that, and it says, oh, it's not doing it anymore. It's been fixed. Oh my word. That's not fair. Oh well, never mind. I put it into Google and it went, did you mean I'm in pain, I need help? I did take a screenshot.
I know, I saw it.
I saw the
actual
screen,
picture.
yeah.
All right. But it doesn't do it anymore. That's a fucker. Never mind. Anyway, so well done. Well done, Jim. You're
Thank you.
Famous person.
Just goes to prove that, you can spend months and weeks crafting something beautiful, stick it online, everyone ignores it. Some crap you found in 5 seconds goes to the roof.
So what's cat pictures?
yeah, absolutely,
pictures.
absolutely, proving once again that all material is worthless. Brilliant. Okay,
Replaying it, it's the Black Cat podcast, and we'll get twice the listenership just on that.
yeah, I was going to say maybe if we I just change the logo to a small cute cat with big eyes and
Do that. Yeah.
I might do. Well, maybe when we rebrand,
I think so.
when we shut down and rebrand.
Shut down and rebrand.
Yeah,
Is that when we do that episode?
we'll just pull the pin and just fuck off.
The one episode that just ruins us.
Yeah,
Could be this one.
could be. It might be. You never know. So, how was your week then, Darren?
Well, again, intersection with Mr. McManus.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stay in the Yeldham. That is great. And yeah, had a thoroughly good time. It was good to see everybody.
You mean you drank all his beer and left?
I did drink all his beer. I at one point, I mean, when the evening started getting dark, we were going out to look at the Perseids. And laying there, and it's just like I wasn't taking much notice of the Perseids anyway. I was just looking up at the sky because there was no light pollution. So I was like, oh, the majesty of the universe. Look at this fantastic looking vista that I have before me. There are stars everywhere that look like wispy bits of smoke. There are twinkly bits and just wonderfulness everywhere. And then I was like, my fucking back is aching because I was laying on a hard floor. I just couldn't get comfortable after that.
Yeah, you can't go stargazing at your age, mate.
No, I can't. And it was cold as well. I just had a shirt on, you know.
Oh, what was Elton doing? Was he laying beside you?
Yes, he was. He was stroking my ear and whispering sweet nothings into it.
Really?
Yes.
He should have been lying on the bonnet of the car like in Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Could be.
Did you
As
ever
planes go over.
Yeah. Did you ever get turned on when Bugs Bunny dressed up like the Lady Bunny?
It was a bit like that. He did ask me that sort of question, but I don't want to elaborate any further because, well, this podcast will be put on a special list if I mention it. So,
bit of fucking
Garth,
luck,
will
really.
you stop me making a shit and racist film in about 10 years' time?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you've got anything to worry about. I think this podcast is on all manner of lists at this point.
It probably is. Yeah, there are certain keywords that the MI5 and the CIA are.
The NSA.
That's it. Yes.
FBI.
Yep. The I'm not sure what the North Korean
MFI
version of that is. MFI, TSB, Santander,
The Red Hand Gang.
the MOT, the AA, the RAC.
Mickey Mouse Club.
We're on all sorts of lists.
Yeah, but those Mickey Mouse Club fuckers, they're dirty fighters.
I don't even want to go
Sand in the
near. I
eyes.
don't even want to go near the Mickey Mouse Club fuckers.
Yeah.
That's just
I will
all.
fuck you up with my ears on. That's what they say.
Oh right, okay. I did.
Small diddy little child. I will fuck you up.
Yeah. All going around with pictures of Britney Spears, age 12. She was in the Mickey Mouse Club, you fucker. Don't look at me like that.
And that was when the Black Dog podcast came to an end.
And that's when we came onto the list marked Yew Tree. And that was the
The
end of it.
four presenters walked off in different directions into the wasteland.
I would never see it again.
They weren't, until they were all brought back together by Jason Robards in a clown costume.
I was going to say the Crown prosecution system, but you know, I'll take that. Anything else?
No, just that really.
Ah, right, okay. My week. Oh, blimey, where do I start? Okay, well, let's start with the film. I saw Wonder Woman at last.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Finally.
What do you think?
I liked it right up until the last third.
Yeah.
And it just turns into bollocks.
It kind of does. They could have done so much more with it, but we got a
and-
good 3/4 of the film was
Yeah.
solid.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
I also don't. I know it's a superhero film. And
Good,
I know-
because it's not a documentary about wildlife or anything
No,
like that.
no,
That's
I know
brilliant.
that. And you know, superhero films do have to have a certain suspension of disbelief, and I understand that, and you kind of have to go with it. What I kind of kept smacking my head up against was this stupid script, which had Diana do all sorts of amazing, obviously improbable and impossible things. Right?
Oh, what, like you mean, the whole, I can't remember what that town was called, but that scene.
Yeah, when she takes that town on, when she kills a sniper literally by jumping on the back of a tank door, smashing through the entire building.
I'm going to take that sniper out. Burn!
Yeah, exactly. And all of that stuff, and then she literally flies for the better part of probably about a quarter of a mile, and then she lands, and then you get a next scene 5 minutes later of them all in the forest, and the guy with the was it the not the trilby, what's the fucking hat? Fez.
Yeah.
Going on and going, do you really believe in all this thing about gods and the god of war coming down to... It's like, motherfucker, you just watched a woman literally pick a tank up, throw it, kill half the northern front, and basically destroy an entire church with just her fists.
Well, it wasn't even a fist, it was a fucking knee.
Yeah.
That was it.
It was like...
She kneed it.
And she did that to kill one guy.
Yep.
Not even the definition of pure overkill superpower.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, do you really believe in all these things like God's coming down to get us? It's like, what the fuck do you... What do you want? What kind of proof in front of you? 10 minutes before, a bloke tried to shoot your mate who looked like Spud from fucking Train Spotting, and she literally punched him through the wall of a pub.
Yep.
And yet you're still going, do you really think that this is all really going on? It's
Something's up. There's something about Diana. I can't quite put my finger on it.
I'm not entirely sure that I believe all this mumbo-jumbo. It's like, you fucking twat. And
Obviously, he was looking the other way when it all happened. So it's, a tank shell has taken out a church. Shaped like an Amazonian.
Actually under the door. When they do the shield. The door, which came off of a fucking tank that she picked up and threw. It's like, hang on, a 40-pound woman has just picked up a fucking tank, ripped it in half, thrown half of it one way, given you the fucking door, and used it as a springboard to destroy a church. Do you really think, you're riding along, do you really think all this stuff about gods is really true? No, I just think she just randomly just got lucky with a punch, just hit the random wrong brick on the fucking door. It just kept doing that. Every now and again, you'll be like, well, this is fine. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, what? Really? You're going to question it now? Question it before she punches the bloke through the side of a pub. Yeah. Do it before she's literally taken on the whole of no man's land single-handedly without so much as a gun.
Well, that ticks that box. There we go.
It's what I call Scully syndrome.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole of Doctor Strange from it as well.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as magic. Do you remember that thing in New York with that man with the fucking magic hammer?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, but in the case of like Doctor Strange, and in the case of like Scully, they always try and sort of frame it in a way where they obviously can't have seen it. But Mr. Fezzy McFezface was literally holding the tank door above his head when she used it as a springboard to destroy a church.
You could just move over. Okay.
I mean, you can't get much more in your face than that. He literally lifted her up and she used him as a jumping board.
Yeah, yes, he did do that. Yes.
And then later on, he's still questioning it when everything's on fire and everything. The whole fucking place is going up. And he's like,
still not sure. I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, still riding around on this donkey going, I'm still unconvinced by all of this. It's like, what?
This is all a coincidence. There was obviously bad workmanship on the building there. What was that, cowboys? Yeah, see, I told you. Yes.
But otherwise, I liked it. It's just every now and again it just did a script did a script bump like that, and I was just like, oh, fuck off. What else? Went down to Bristol, caught up with a few friends down there.
How was that? Good.
Yeah, it was all right. Went down to caught up with Rob the Chief as well. How
is he?
He's
Good.
fine. Yeah, he's having a few things going on, which it's not my place to discuss, so we shall let him discuss it if he needs to discuss it. But otherwise, everything's good.
Hey.
I got a birthday present from work, which turned out to be a big box of craft beer.
Oh, right, okay.
Which would have been okay and a really good sort of thing to know.
Yeah.
To get. It'd be like, oh, wow, amazing craft beer. That's really nice. Except for the fact that one of the guys who's there, with his pew pew fingers, he does lots of finger gun maneuvers. He kind of walks past and goes, hey, kind of thing. Turns out he collects craft beers.
They're going to find him dead in the canteen with his fingers shoved up his nose, isn't they?
One day.
Torn off his hands.
One day.
Somebody will do that because somebody might get so annoyed.
I don't know who could possibly do that.
Are there any sort of loose cannons in the office there? Somebody who's a bit unhinged?
None that spring to mind.
No?
No.
The crazy architect who won't play by the rules.
Exactly. The crazy maverick architect that won't play by the rules.
Yeah, but anyway, he's
a maverick.
He's a maverick.
Everyone's a maverick.
On the edge. He's a man on the edge. He's down the fine line of a drawing. So we went there. So we went to Bristol. That was good. Caught up with a few friends. Went to Weston-super-Mare, which
Never been to Weston-super-Mare. What's in Weston-super-Mare?
A pier.
Was it open when you got to Weston-super-Mare?
Yes, it was. It was a pier, and there was some donkeys, and there was
no horses though.
And there was a horse.
Or was it a female horse?
Mm-hmm, there was a horses.
Was it wearing a cape? Could it fly? Because is that the super-mare?
No.
Western
Super-mare.
I wish I'd thought of that when I was.
See?
Yeah, I was kind of a little put off by it when we got on the sand and we went down to water's edge, and then you immediately see a sign that says "Caution, danger, sinking mud."
Okay.
And it's like, so, and
we should have told you this 3 miles ago, but
Yeah.
you might actually be standing less than 2 foot.
Yeah,
From
so
some sinking
that's
mud.
cool. Yeah, but otherwise, it's fairly, standard sort of seaside front type stuff. So we went round there. That was quite cool. What else? Yeah, that was about it really. Yesterday, went down to Lee Valley Reservoir Waterway sports stuff.
Okay.
And I went sup boarding.
Is that where you get on board and as you pass people you go, sip?
That's it. Yeah, well, something like that. Well, what actually happened was I spent 3/4 of an hour trying to get myself into a wetsuit, and then it was pretty much like that. It was literally my body looked slim and my body looked slim and svelte. My feet were 6 feet across. Every one of my toes looked like a beach ball because like the whole of my skin had just been rolled down into my ankles.
Is it a bit like that scene at the start of Les Miserables where you've got like the blokes with the chains over their shoulders pulling that boat in? Is that what it was like?
I was just trying to get my zip shut.
Jean Valjean.
Yeah. Jean Valjean.
Empty seats at empty tables.
And then, it was more like that guy from, Big Trouble in Little China, who sort of expands and he goes, and he bursts out of all his suit and his chest and everything, and his feet got really big and burst out through his shoes.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was all of the bits that weren't attached to the wetsuit of me. I literally had like a neck that was like 3 feet across, like I'd eaten a wheel of cheese. I looked like someone had tried to put the duvet back in the box, basically. And then you go on the water, and there's this paddleboard thing that they attach to your foot, so it doesn't go drifting off when you fall off. And then you paddle around, but you get encouraged to stand up on this thing.
Do you now?
I could not fucking stand on this thing.
You can fuck off with your suggestions.
Fuck off. I could not stand on this thing for my life. So I went up on my knees.
Yeah.
I'm going around like I'm sort of like some cheap ass model.
Davy Crockett,
yeah. Sort of on my knees on this fucking wetsuit with this big inflatable thing around me and kind of...
Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
And then going round and round and round and round on that. And
then I could only paddle. I've only been taught how to paddle on one side.
Exactly, I can only paddle on one side. I literally just went round, just like a whirly gig. And then every now and again, I'd sort of attempt to stand up. And as soon as I attempt to stand up, I get up on this thing, and it, like the tip of the balance would just be like I just step one bit, and it goes wobble wobble wobble, and it becomes an oscillation, and I'm off into the water again. Wash, rinse, repeat that for an hour.
Lovely.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so I basically soggily stamped upstairs to the tavern that was there and ate a nice big pulled pork sandwich instead.
Oh, lovely.
That was much better.
I'd like a pulled pork sandwich right now.
Can't go wrong with a pulled pork
sandwich.
Pulled
pork's lovely.
Pulled pork, yes.
Like pulled pork.
Yes, it keeps the middle classes alive.
It certainly does. It's made of the lower classes, of course.
Yes.
It's like Soylent Green.
Exactly.
Pulled pork is poor people.
Yeah. Other than that, I got my form through for my Cineworld card. So
hey.
I am now with.
You are with card.
I am with card.
Excellent.
Other than that, that's it really. I'm going down on Thursday. Going down to Margate to the Europe's biggest inflatable castle. Bouncy castle.
Really?
Yes, it's in Margate. So do look out for that.
I'll be watching out the news. This strange object was found in orbit.
Yeah, bang! Just me on it, like a really cheap Silver Surfer. So yeah, but the other thing,
going just over North Korea.
Yeah, exactly. Being shot down. I'm going to land in Guam and start an international incident. Anyway, so that's about it, really. The other thing, parish notices.
Yes.
And, poor old Jim and poor old Elton don't know this because we only just discussed this 2 seconds before they came on air.
We had a production meeting.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this, guys. It's fine. We'll sort it out.
It turns out that due to holidays and everything, the Black Dog will be going on a 2-week hiatus as from this week.
So, make the most of it, boys.
Yeah. So there you go. So you're free for a while, guys. We won't be back until the 5th of September now. Yep. So also as a reminder, yes, the Black Dog Shindig will be taking place on the 9th of September at Nelly Dean.
Yes, it's a tactical decision to stop us getting lynched at the Shindig.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Having looked at the schedule.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to skip over. We will actually we'll do Damnation Alley on the week of the Shindig.
Yes.
And hopefully no one will have watched it by the Shindig. And then on Monday and Tuesday we can watch it. We can all watch it with hangovers on the Sunday.
Yeah.
We could have a tweet along.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yes, please.
Jesus.
Tweet along a Damnation Alley, aka Hannibal Smith's Big Trak.
No Big Fun Bus, wasn't
it? Yeah, Hannibal Smith's Big Fun Bus.
It's like a post-apocalyptic summer holiday, with Cliff Richard. Yeah, except not so happy.
Indeed. So, but before we get to that, obviously, just a reminder, we won't be around until this is the last episode before the 5th of September, and the Shindig is on Saturday the 9th.
That's right.
It is indeed.
Saturday the 9th at the Nelly Dean pub in Dean Street in Soho. Nearest tube station is Tottenham Court Road.
Isn't it?
Yeah. And, we'll be there from 6 o'clock, is it? 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
6 o'clock. 6
I may be in there a bit earlier. I don't know. Depends what I'm doing.
So, if you feel like turning up at 7, we'll all be there. Anyway, right. So, so hopefully see you then. Otherwise, yes, this is our last cast before a 2-week break. So, yes, should have told you that earlier. Right. Well, that's it for the week, I guess. So let's move on to the wonderful world of Crockett and his dog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Take that, Jan Hammer.
Yeah, fucking Jan Hammer. Ban Hammer. Right,
MC Hammer.
Yeah. Let's run.
Turn into Pigeon Street there.
I have no knowledge of this Pigeon Street.
If you live in Pigeon Street, there are some people you will meet. I'll stop right there.
Yeah, probably wise.
But Portland Bill, that's a different
Portland Bill.
Yeah. Oh, come with me to the rolling
sea,
where the rivers come and still. We'll have some fun and laughter with the adventures of Portland Bill.
What's Portland Bill found today? Oh, look, a stash of porn by the docks. Left by some naughty sailors. And what's that? A bag of skag as well? Party time at Portland Bill's bloody house.
I've just got the Cheetos in as well.
Yes. Portland Bill's been overrun by some Somali pirates.
This week, Portland Bill gets the munchies.
Portland Bill is rescued by the British Navy.
This week, Portland Bill has woken up in a prison in South America.
With one of his kidneys missing. No one really knows what we're talking about. I don't know. Right, brilliant. Roll the jingle.
If you lived in Pigeon Street, here are the people you could meet. Here are the people who would say hello, goodbye, hello, bye, every day. If you lived in Pigeon Street, here are the people you could meet. Here are the people who would share the sights, the sounds, the air, where pigeons beat their wings, wings beat. Pigeons beat their wings, wings beat to meet in Pigeon Street.
Well, there you go. So that was Pigeon Street. What's it relate to in terms of Boy and his dog? Absolutely nothing.
But we thought you'd like that comforting sound of Pigeon Street rather than the air raid warning sound.
Which we were going to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so A Boy and His Dog, he says, moving closer so that you can read the fucking wiki. Right, A Boy and His Dog is a 1975 American science fiction comedy drama thriller film. What the fuck?
It's a barrel of fucking laughs, this one.
Yeah. Written with Alvy Moore and directed by L.Q. Jones. So written and directed by L.Q. Jones with Alvy Moore. That would have been better, Wikipedia. You know, English, we speak it. Starring Don Johnson and Suzanne Benton, Alvy Moore, of course it was, and Jason Robards. The film was distributed in the United States by some production company we don't care about, and the film script is based on a 1969 cycle of narratives by fantasy author Harlan Ellison entitled The Boy and His Dog. The film concerns a teenage boy, Vic, or Albert, and his telepathic dog, Blood, who work together as a team in order to survive the dangerous post-apocalyptic wasteland of the southwestern United States. On August 6th, 2013, Shout Factory released this film on Blu-ray. There's no budget information at all. But let's move on to the production. But Harlan Ellison, the author of the original novella, started the screenplay but encountered writer's block. So producer Alvy Moore and director L.Q. Jones wrote the script. Jones owns the company. Yeah, we know this bit. Who cares about the fucking company name? Anyway, James Cagney's voice was considered for the voice of Blood, but was dropped because it would have been too recognisable and proven to be a distraction. Eventually, after going through approximately 600 auditions, they settled on Tim McIntyre, a veteran voice actor who also did most of the music for the film. McIntyre was assisted by Ray Manzarek, misspelt in the credits as Manzarek, formerly of The Doors.
Okay.
Ray Manzarek? Anyway, McIntyre sang the main theme, and the Latin American composer Jamie Mendoza Nava provided the rest of the music for Topeka Underground segment. On reception, the Rotten Tomatoes, the film has 75% approval rating based on 32 reviews. The site consensus states it's an offbeat, eccentric black comedy. A Boy and His Dog features strong dialogue and an oddball vision of the future. The film won the 1976 Hugo Awards for Best Dramatic Presentation at the Mid-American and 34th World Science Fiction Convention in Kansas City, not too far from the real Topeka. Johnson won Golden Scroll for Best Actor, and which was shared with James Caan for his performance in Rollerball. In 2007, it was ranked 96 on Rotten Tomatoes' Journey Through Sci-Fi's Best Reviewed 100 Science Fiction Films. Again, English would be good. The film was not commercially successful on its release. It has, however, developed a cult following over the years and also inspired the video game series Fallout, which on many levels has an underground community of survivors and to glowing mutants. The film's DVD audio commentary, Jones states that Ellison was generally pleased with the film, with the exception of some lines of dialogue. Ellison particularly objected to the film's final line, in which Blood says of Quilia, "Well, I'd say she certainly had a marvellous judgment, Albert, if not particularly good taste." Ellison referred to it as moronic, hateful, chauvinist last line, which I despise. Because the rest of the film,
right? I was going to say, did he not watch? Has he not read his own book?
I think he just had a moment of realization as the credits rolled, personally. But there you go. Rumours are abounded over the years regarding a sequel, which has never materialised. On the film's DVD commentary, L.Q. Jones states that he started to write a script to the sequel to the film that would have picked up right where the last film ended and featured a female warrior named Spike, and we would have seen this world through the eyes of the female instead of the male, as happens in Ellison's story Blood's a Rover, when Blood partners with Spike after the ostensible death of Vic. Jones and Ellison collaborated on a short-lived effort. Ellison, however, has denied that development went beyond a short what-if conversation, and any efforts were solely that of Jones. According to Cult Movies 2, Jones had planned a sequel called A Girl and Her Dog, but the plan was scrapped when Tiger, the dog who portrayed Blood, died in December 2003. Died in December 2003? How fucking old is that dog?
How old is that dog?
Oh, no. Hold on. No, it doesn't matter. Oh, no, sorry. There's a full stop that's needed there. In December in 2003 interview, James claimed that it was... Fuck me. What was this whole thing about scanning through Wikipedias and making sense of it? Jesus. It was written by a moron. Fuck, anyway, it doesn't matter.
It's like the parents of the dog didn't want to tell the children that it died and so bought exactly the same dog again.
Yeah, went off to the farm. Went off to the farm. That's what happened.
Yeah,
ha because that's the joke. Farm. See,
Yeah.
everyone's going to the farm.
I get it now.
Has anyone seen this film before?
Me.
Yes.
Many thousands of billions of years ago.
Right. Okay. You have, and Jim, you say you have as well.
Yes, yep.
Okay. Well, you two can fight over who wants to go first then. It's actually, seeing as you picked it, Dal.
Yeah.
Seeing as you picked it, you go first. Go on.
But I
what did
picked
you
all
think?
of these.
Well, yeah, I know. But I was hoping you'd forget that by September.
Oh, right. Okay.
I want to blame you for this one, that's all.
You want to blame me for this one?
Yeah, fucking right. Sorry, I'm joking.
Well,
Everyone else blames...
It's gone.
The season is intended to be the shonkiest of Apocalypse.
Well, mission accomplished.
You know, it's got to be look like it was filmed using the cast and crew of Murder, She Wrote. So I think we...
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished with this one.
Right, go for it. So, what did you think of it?
Okay, so I think... I can't remember when this was shown, when I saw it on television. Jim, when was that movie Drone?
It'd have been late 80s, early 90s.
It was, wasn't it?
Mm.
So I probably would have
Movie
been about...
Drone was before Terminator 2. Definitely.
What, before it was on telly?
No, before it was even filmed. Because I remember watching Terminator via Movie Drone. And Terminator 2 hadn't even been thought of.
Okay. So that would have been late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah.
Pretty much what Jim just said, but, you know.
Just reiterating.
Doesn't look like it was on the movie Drone according to a list I found.
Was it? Was it?
No.
Oh, well,
Fever
anyway.
Dream. It doesn't matter. It happened
Whatever
a long
it is,
time ago.
it happened on a special showing.
It's probably around 89, something like that. 88, 89,
Yeah.
I think.
It was shown on BBC Two, I think it was, and it was the dead of night. So, yeah, sometime. Well, I remember it being sort of like, you know, it piqued my interest because it was a post-apocalyptic film. Didn't remember much of it. I remembered sequence of it. I mean, like the bit with, you know, the smiling cowboy, no, the smiling yokel,
Michael,
the one that turned out to be a robot in the end. Him.
Yeah, because why not?
Because why not? I remember him, but I always remember him getting near the end of the actual film when he's chasing Don Johnson out of the actual place. Let's see now. What I would like to see is I would like to see a post-apocalyptic movie where women aren't treated just as a sex thing, right? That would be nice to say that maybe it would be a start, you know? Just so that we can say, well, maybe it wouldn't be like that. Of course, some people, you know, would be used by very bad people, but not every single one.
No.
You know? So, you know.
That would be a start, wouldn't it?
It would.
Let's not have that as the default.
Yeah, I mean, because we know we kind of had that with Mad Max Fury Road, apart from the wives. I mean, we had Furiosa, who was like, you know, no pushover. So yeah, I'd like to see that. I had the same trouble with 28 Days Later. That was one of my gripes about that film. the world goes to pot, and 2 weeks later, every man's a rapist.
Yeah.
And it's like, really? Seriously, you're going to do this? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I don't know, really.
So you wanted to go first, just to go, oh, don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about what goes on in the film, and it's like, you have what is essentially possibly one of the most harmless dogs you could possibly get for a family.
It was Benji, the biggest dog in the world, wasn't it?
It wasn't even the biggest dog in the world. It was only like about a foot and a half tall.
Have
maybe
you seen
not even
Benji, the biggest dog in the world? Used to be on TV.
It was a Dulux. One of those Dulux old English sheepdogs, though, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, that was.
Oh.
Yeah, this I can't.
Digby.
Digby. That was
I
it.
don't even know what make and model this one was. Right.
Dog.
And what was the model?
Dog.
Other dog.
White and grey.
But they turned it into...
Labia retriever, I think it was.
A what? Sorry, Jim?
Labia retriever.
A labia retriever. God's sake.
Oh dear.
Well, yeah, with a built-in siren that could pick up pheromones from a mile off.
Yep.
That goes twing
Every
twing,
time it does its thing.
Twing. It's like, really? Fucking, I thought his eggs were done. It's just like, oh, the microwave's finished. Twing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a girl over there.
Look, there she is.
Hi, I'm Spotswood from Team America. Now I'm just a dog. Now suck my cock. It's just like, fuck me.
If you love your country, you will suck my cock.
Yeah, go on, Carol.
I've lost my track now. We talked about Team America, which is a much more interesting film.
A much better film, yeah.
Yeah. I can see where Fallout gets, where it's influenced stuff like Fallout with the whole 50s vibe for the underworld. But why did they have painted faces? Did they actually say? Or was it just, this is a post-apocalyptic society, just accept it because they're bonkers and shit.
Welcome to the 1970s, where all things happen for no reason. It's the same reason why post-apocalyptic future with Sean Connery in it requires everyone to wear red nappies. It's just the 70s.
So we're going to introduce you to an underground society full of the shittest mimes on the face of the planet.
That look like they've come from they've all just stepped out of like some fucking set from the Waltons.
Yes. Years later, Jason Robards will be in The Day After, another shit post-apocalyptic movie, which I think we've got on the list. Is that on the list as well?
Did I think so.
Did I not put that on there?
I don't think so. I don't know. I know we got Still Dawn.
Oh, Still Dawn.
We might not make it, actually, given that, October's just around the corner as well.
Oh, yeah.
We might not hit. We might have to have a bit of jiggle around with the old scheduling.
I think or we could just make it a 3-week apocalypse rather than a 4.
Well, it's as shonky an apocalypse as it can be. So, yeah, an apocalypse that lasts only 3 weeks sounds like a good idea.
Right. We'd have to
have your apocalypse now.
Haven't we got to make this last 5 weeks, or is it 5 days that he said it lasted in the film? Was it 5 days?
Keep an eye on it. We'll let you know how much time we've got to fit this shit into.
Yeah. Have your apocalypse now. Don't put it off till tomorrow. I want your apocalypse now.
See, that got more laughs than the actual film.
Well,
this apparent comedy.
Well, this podcast is a dark comedy. This whole podcast is nothing but black comedy.
It's just very dark.
Go on in. Go on. You keep going. I'm going to keep just interrupting you.
You can interrupt me. I'm done. I'm spent.
That was it. You jumped to the front of the queue.
I've got mine out of the way. Yeah.
Jim.
I'm going to go to sleep now. Good night.
Right. Jim, what did you think of it?
Well, so as referred to earlier, I did see this probably on the same showing as Darren.
Yeah.
And I had some really sketchy memories. I remembered the end. I remember the beginning. And there was an awful lot I'd forgotten. And when I watched it, I knew why. It's because about an hour of a tannoy giving me apple pie recipes and marching band music had completely destroyed any brain cells meant to be recording the moment.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't read the actual original Harlan Ellison novella, but I have read some Harlan Ellison stories, and I can only think his comments, he was in his more restrained day. Someone could talk to him about it now, I think he might have a lot more to say about it.
Well,
So I feel there was an awful lot of point missing going on.
Yeah. I mean, he's not backwards in coming forwards if he's got something he disagrees with, is he, old Arlen?
No.
Speaking of which, we got to be careful because, you know, he is notoriously litigious.
He likes listening to our podcast, so watch
I
it.
really hope not.
I really, really hope not.
Yeah, same here.
He will bury us.
There's going to be an interesting feedback section when we read out the clauses of the.
Yeah, as we read out this entire legal letter from the office of Mr. H. Ellison Esquire. Yeah. Anyway, go on, then, James.
But yes, I get it. There's an awful lot of points missed. I think the main one is, and I expect. I mean, let's get to the misogyny in the room. The whole rapey business about it.
Yeah.
Having read some of Harlan Ellison's rather bleak and black-humoured SF, I imagine, you know, the point of it, we weren't supposed to like Vic/Albert.
No.
It is a glimpse into a brutal future where, you know, a dog is smarter than a man, basically.
Yeah.
However, I get the impression sort of L.Q. Jones, who was like one of Peckinpah's bunch, sort of didn't quite grasp that and saw it more as some sort of outlaw tale. And with Don Johnson, I mean, it's kind of, you get the impression like we're meant to like him, and when clearly there's nothing to like about this character. He is just, you know,
colossal arsehole.
Yeah, well said. It's just, I mean, you know, he is just thoroughly unlikable. I can't decide actually whether Don Johnson's performance is actually good or not in this, because I think maybe Johnson understood this character is thick as pig shit and motivated by the worst of instincts, and he does play him, you know, like that kind of brainless meathead. And on one hand, you think the film would work better if Vic was likable, but when you consider the plot line, you think, well, no, Vic can't be likable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not he doesn't succeed as coming across as, say, like some Peckinpah films, like, you know, the famous version of the story of Billy the Kid, where he takes a stone killer and makes him into an anti-hero, and you know he's a bad guy, but you can still go along with him.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen in this film. I mean, I think you automatically side with the dog as he's the most intelligent character, and the film really takes a dive when the dog disappears.
Yeah,
However, it literally takes a worse dive because you're in this strange underground bunker land. I mean, I like the idea that kind of, you know, they've, you know, gone back to this kind of strange idealized version of the 1950s. I sort of get that, but I just don't think it's terribly well realized. And the constant marching band music and tannoy announcements just all the time when they're down there, it's just kind of, this is really distracting.
Yeah.
I mean, I think kind of, you can see kind of there's like a typical thing, Ellison twist of the, you know, he goes down there, gets captured, thinks he's for the chop, finds out he's there to impregnate all the women. He thinks he's died and gone to heaven, and finds himself stuffed in a milking machine.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But in this movie, it's just not satisfying. And I think it is kind of...
It wasn't for Don either.
No, it wasn't. It was a... I think it's kind of, this film had about enough plot for an hour, and it runs on for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
There's a lot of just flapping about needlessly. Let's see what else to say. Well, I did wonder why, like, you know, why is it in these post-apocalyptic films people just go out to the desert where they sod all? It's cheap, that's why.
Well, yeah.
But also, what really actually, upset me about this bleak modern future was the fact that, should we end up living in a irradiated desert as part of a rover pack, we'll all have to wear really bad hats.
Oh, it's a standard.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't look like you're sort of like your mad nan dressing up to go out, then it's really not the post-apocalyptic universe you were expecting, I think.
You're clearly doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You're not. Yeah, you're miles away from doing it right. Yeah,
yeah. So basically, kind of with this movie, I get this I have the feeling that I'd actually probably quite like the Harlan Ellison novellas, and I like kind of the sparkles of Ellison that are in this, but overall, the execution just didn't know where it was going or what.
Do you know what it reminded me
trying
of?
to do?
I don't know. I just thought Godspell.
What's that?
It's a musical from the 70s about Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's a retelling of that, but he's in kind of modern day New York and all his. That's what it said to me.
Godspell. Why?
Just because of the look of it.
Probably the bad hats.
Yeah, bad hats.
Godspell is like if Jesus was a hippie dropout, if I remember rightly.
Oh, my word. Okay.
And there's mime artists in that as well.
Yes, there is.
Right.
Maybe that's it. Maybe because Jesus in
the
that is a
secret
mime
mime
artist.
collection.
Yeah.
Is Jesus hooked up to a milking machine?
No.
No.
So I'm very with the patrician of Ankh-Morpork, who had very strict laws against mime artists, which involved them being imprisoned with pits with scorpions, facing a large sign saying, "Learn the words."
Oh, the patrician. I love that character. Cool. Yeah, actually, yeah, my literary spirit animal, I think. Anything else, Jim?
No, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
I might flash back to something else later.
Fair enough. In which case, we'll move on to you then, Elton. What did you think of this film?
Okay, I'm worried because I'm torn with this movie.
Uh-oh. Yeah, go on.
I'm going to need some help with this because
Yeah?
there are parts I really do like. And there are certain parts, I think you already know, which I do not like.
Okay.
And I think I'll get onto the parts I don't like first.
Okay.
And because it is such, as Jim said earlier on, an elephant in the room. The rapey bits.
That's pretty much the bits between the opening and closing credits.
Yep.
Where the dog's
Yeah.
not talking.
It's because it was such a... I wasn't expecting it. Because, is it Don Johnson? He is such a young character. The title is A Boy and His Dog. And so we go in there expecting a boy. And yet he turns out to be a massive rapist.
Well, you couldn't have gone
Yeah.
any worse. I mean, let's be honest. At that point, he's kind of already down a massive moral
He
hole.
might as well be a racist as well, yeah.
Yeah, just add it
Yeah.
on there.
But it seems strange to have a title, A Boy and His Dog, and then you've got that character trait in him. And it is a bit shocking. I was a little shocked by it. It took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting anything like that, especially because we'd had a character talking to a talking dog.
Yes.
And I've never seen them three things combined in one film.
It's rather like a rather dark and nasty X Factor. There's a talking dog and no.
X Factor After Hours, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Straight away, three
X Factor.
three X's.
Yep.
No one's pressing the golden button for that fucker. Anyway,
Okay, so that covered. That was shocking. It felt out of place. But then when you see the context of the film as it post-apocalyptic, it is a trope of them type of movies. So not saying it fits into place, but I suppose it should be expected in a film like that.
yeah, okay. I mean, I take your point, but I don't agree. But yeah.
I'm not saying we should expect it. I'm saying that, okay,
It's kind of one of those
apocalyptic
dumb
film.
things that they do.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah. Things I like. There are bits of the story I quite like. I like the the boy and the dog. I like that it isn't. I like we're introduced to this film. World War IV lasted 5 days.
Yeah.
And so we're sat there going, shit, so I missed World War III? What the fuck?
Yeah,
That's
we just
brilliant.
skipped on.
Sleep at that point.
Sorry, I turned you down while you were blowing your nose.
All right, sorry.
Oh, you carry on.
Over here.
Oh, you go over there.
I'll
Okay,
go over
fine.
and blow my nose.
Yeah, you do that. So, yeah, we nodded off through the. Was it ice? Was it called ice and rain or something?
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold.
As in, I think it was the hot and cold war for, as in spies and stuff, and then people started lobbing nuclear missiles at one another.
Oh, okay.
Back in 1986 or something like that.
Yes.
It is the future.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, go on.
Which sets up the scene that they're walking around in, because is there going to be much left after an atomic and nuclear war? I don't know. And so I like the barrenness of where they are set. Yes, it is easy, but I kind of like it. Just walking around, nothing around, always searching for something, trying to hoard stuff, trying to grab stuff, pilfer as much as you can. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I haven't got a problem with that. I like the way that talking to a dog isn't explained.
Yeah.
At all. And I like that because I feel if this film was made nowadays, that'd be a little robot. It wouldn't be a dog. It'd be his side companion robot type thing, who'd be quite cute, everyone alike, and kind of miss once he's down in the depths underneath the earth. I like that they go down underneath the earth because that would be a safer place opposed to up above on the surface. So, okay, things are fitting around here. I like that when he goes to that weird cinema type thing, it's all crappy, grainy film, which would have been damaged in a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of fitting. The world is built around there, and so it works quite well. I like that they pull him down there and milk the fuck out of him, because it would be scientifically correct. If you want to build up a population, you'd have to milk a person instead of letting him just get his leg over every other week. It would just be it's more clinical, shall we say.
Yeah.
And so, I kind of like the ending, which caught me out as well. The lady that he was following around.
Yeah.
When you sit down and think about her character.
Yeah.
And she didn't go looking for him. He went looking for her. He found her. He snuck up on her, and then just expected something straight away. And at some point, I was sat there going, well, okay, why is she taking her clothes off? Because he's just asked her to. Surely there should be some sort of fight. But obviously, she's seen, okay, brilliant. I can bring him down with me. My plan is he's come into my trap, shall we say. And when you think about it after that, her stance on life kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But as you're watching it, it doesn't. You're sat there going, "What the fuck? Why is she doing that? Why is she so?
Yeah.
Why is she so free to say, "Oh, thank you very much," and kiss him, and then snog him, and then have him be bumpy with him? It seems too easy and too out of character for a person who would have a man force themselves on them. And yet, when you go down under the ground and see what it was all about and her plan, it makes total sense.
She's the cheese.
Sorry?
She's the cheese. That's what those guys up on the surface go, release the cheese.
Yeah.
They actually say that.
Smell my cheese.
I've got the cheese.
Smell my cheese.
Yeah. It's just, wow. Anyway, go on. Sorry, carry on now. I'm sorry, it's just a brain fart that just came to mind.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, all them little things make sense. I like the underground world, apart from the trumpeters and the band. I like the tannoy. I've got no problems with the tannoy at all. It adds to the undergroundness and the bringing the human race back to fruition type thing. We are almost military guided, so you need to be told what to do, when to do, and how to do it type thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of suits that purpose. Where did I have a problem with it? Obviously, the rapey stuff was a bit fucking hard on the nose, but I think overall,
you'd say that.
yeah. Okay. Well, the painted faces, I couldn't get that. I fucking hated that. That was once again, it wasn't something explained, but I just didn't understand why.
It might have been explained, but you didn't hear because of the tannoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that and all.
Yeah.
Oh, if I was editing this, I might just put tannoy through this episode, just every now and again.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Seriously. Anyway, yeah, carry on.
But I think fundamentally, it's not a great movie. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But there are nuggets there that I think if this was remade, you could have a pretty good film or a pretty good start of a couple of films. I think instead of fucking going zombies all the time in every poxy movie, do something a bit like this. I would be well up for this being remade.
Yeah.
And, go on, sorry.
No, go on. No, I was kind of about to disagree, and then actually I thought, well, fair enough. Yeah, go on. Carry on, sorry.
Well, yeah, I would be up for this being remade. And the ending for me, the joke, and all of a sudden they've eaten the lady, that took me by surprise, greatly by surprise. And so I think I left the film quite happy with the surprise, a kind of happy ending. And
really?
No, it's not a happy ending.
No.
You left the film on a good note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Like a massage. Happy ending. Good note.
Wow.
But I think it worked for me, but there's something down in its core that I fucking hated as well. Like I said, I'm really fucking torn with this. Really am torn with it. I'm not going to get into acting because I thought most of that was atrocious, but that would be fixed on a remake, I feel.
Okay. So as long as they remade it and did it better, then it'll be a good film.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say in the short term of things. There's bits I really did like in this. A lot of it I didn't like as well. Two sides of my brain are just fighting each other over this at the moment.
I was going to say, sounds like you're a little conflicted.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's cool. As long as we know, we can work with conflicted. That's fine. Anyway, anything else? Any one bit that stood out to you before we move on?
Any one bit that stood out? I don't know. The dog was. I quite like the dog sniffing the air and all the bleeps and blops, and I think the character of the dog and his the way that he. Oh, I can't even think of words now. See, words are just failing me at the moment. The way that he is with the boy and how they work together, their teamwork together, I kind of liked that.
That is good. The whole spotting the enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I suppose that is a standout thing for me.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Well, for me, well, I don't know. I mean, it's just reiterating what everyone else has said, I guess. But I fucking hated this film. I mean, I did. I've never seen it before, but there's a certain thing. I mean, let's just start. Do what everyone else has done. Start with the elephant in the room, the absolute unbelievable misogyny, even by 70s standards, was just. I'm not just putting on a white knight hat and sort of going, oh yes, by modern standards this is wrong. I'm talking about just even by 70s standards, it was a bit woo and way. I mean, everyone, it was like the commentary on how the world has gone kind of gets summed up in that porn movie that they're watching. Everyone's watching at the cinema, which sort of basically goes fight, 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 rape, and that seems to be how the entertainment was going. Because there was even a bit where she goes, oh, my parents are out, and they're like, oh, well, fine, okay. Start kissing. 5 minutes later, like the dad comes in, and she's like literally tied to the bed. If you watch the video, you watch that thing that was on the cinema screen.
Yeah,
she's tied to the bed.
Oh, right.
And she's all beaten up.
Fucking hell. Really?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And the whole film was just going, you could almost see, and then you could almost say, well, there's some commentary there on the nature of just like men being left alone in the wilderness will just go feral. But it wasn't done right. It was just bollocks. It was just blunt, misogynist fucking crap. And then on top of that, the idea of, there was lots of, as you said, Elton, there's lots of little nuggets in there, like, there's screamers in there. And it's like, what the fuck is a screamer? And, that's a great idea, that there was something lurking about going, kind of thing. And then, but it's represented by someone shining a green flashlight over a window. It's like, oh, okay. It's just a bit of a moment. And the whole film is just like, you just go, oh, 70s. Oh, 70s. Like, the whole thing underground was just stupid beyond belief. I just, I'm all for, science fiction pushing the boundaries, trying to do new things, go a bit out there. But if going out there just means that all they did was they just decided that they didn't want to be in the desert anymore and they just sat in a park, waited till it was night, and then had Jason Robards sitting by a desk lamp in a fucking clown costume.
That's a paddling.
I mean...
But it's a park underground.
But you never get that sense that he's underground.
It was very much, it looked like, what's that, Arlington Military Cemetery they've got in Washington.
Yeah. That was the only bit of interesting, I don't know, post-apocalyptic kind of nods, where they kept having things like people having to dig down to get to the food and to get to the shoes and to get to everything. Yeah. And then when they find that place where they first meet the girl, you notice that he's actually gone down into a hole to get to the roof of a building.
Yes.
And it's like, well, that's pretty fucking cool. So you get like little snippets of what's actually happened here. It's not that it's a desert. It's that it's like 6 feet of shit laid over everything. And that's quite nice little touches. And there was little touches like that where I kind of went, ooh, that's quite, there's been a bit of attention paid here. But then they just throw it out the window by having her dressed up like a sort of fucking 1950s milkmaid wandering about going, oh, I do declare, and then suddenly changing her mind and going, oh, you have rescued me. I shall now become your sexy person. And then the dog going, oh, dear, copulation. It's a separate Latin this and that, this and that. And it's like, the dog was good, but the dog was super silly as fuck, and he needed a good kick in the arse. Yeah, okay, you know Latin and you know all the presidents. Well done. Now fucking shut up. Just for 5 minutes. Yeah. It just seemed like everyone was quite in love with the idea of the dog talking. And the dog wouldn't shut up. But then Don Johnson was such a colossal cockend in every conceivable way. If he ended up milked to death and just drained, and the last thing you see is them just throwing out something that looked like a life force husk onto just throwing onto
like a big white raisin. There we
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Have that.
Just throw him on the compost heap, and then everyone going around going, "We're all pregnant." And the film just ended.
Yeah.
I'd been just as happy with that, because to tell you what he did one thing that was totally unforgivable.
What's that?
He's like that dog saved him
Yeah.
like multiple times. The dog is all bloodied up.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he just leaves it standing outside in the middle of the desert and closes the door on it.
Yep.
And we're supposed to think, he's leaving his best friend behind, and his best friend's going, "No, you get off in there, because you need to get your end away." It's like, what? Hang on, what? This film sends such a massively clear message. It's just like this guy gets his end away and abandons all his friends.
Yep.
That's it.
Actually, I think maybe the person who wrote this was going through a bit of an experience with one of their friends. That's it.
Yeah.
You've got a girlfriend, never sees us anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And so that is essentially it. The message is women bad.
Women bad.
Women bad. Because, literally, everything that goes wrong happens because Don Johnson follows his dick.
Yep.
I mean, he abandons the dog. He goes down into this weird fucking mime lounge.
Yep.
Which just looks literally like someone just borrowed a load of sets from Blazing Saddles, which was filming next door. I mean, it's just nonsense. The whole thing was just bollocks.
Yep, it's never the man's fault.
No, it was
Because,
never Don Johnson's fault.
No, 'cause
never.
It's always, well, you know what men are like, and, well, but
And it's just like, oh, well, you...
it's all the women's fault because they're not keeping
And then-
control of the men and hiding themselves up, and so
And then
the
they
men
tried-
don't go crazy.
Then they tried to include some kind of politicking with the girl, and then suddenly she goes from victim... She goes from victim to lure to suddenly manipulator to basically someone
Happy
who wants
Meal.
to Happy Meal, exactly. And it's just like, the only time the film finally resolves itself and says this is the end of the story is basically when Don Johnson finally realises that, bros before hoes, effectively.
That's it.
That's it. He goes, sort of like, oh, the dog needs food and medicine. And it's like, next thing you see, he's picking his teeth and there's a fucking thing. And I just sat there thinking, oh, right. And then you get the last line from the dog. She had funny taste.
Yep.
And it's like, so the whole film was just a run-up for the worst of dad jokes.
Yep.
That was it. It was just
all it
one
was.
big, long fucking dad joke.
Yep.
It's like, get fucked. I just was like, I was on the train, I just went, oh, get fucked.
Can I ask you, all of you guys, how did you feel about the dog fight?
I didn't like it, because you know what? It looked like a real dog fight.
It did, didn't it?
It looked a bit too bloody close for a sort of acting thing. That looked fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Again, just adding to the crimes that this film just wanted to just go for the shock value. Because that did not look in any way acted by any acting dog. That was just like someone threw two dogs into a room and just went, have at it.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
set
that's
'em
what
off.
I felt. Yeah. No dogs were harmed in the making of this movie.
Did it say
apart
that?
from these two.
Did it say that, though?
No, he didn't.
Because I
No.
don't think I saw the animal marker on the thing. And frankly, given that Jowly old bloke sitting beside Jason Robards who put himself in the, was one of the writers.
Yeah.
It sort of smacked of Manos Hands of Fate with his kind of like, the
Manos Jazz Hands of Fate.
Yeah. It's like, sort of, I wrote the theme tune, I sung the theme tune, and here I am being one of the guys with the notepad. Why do you have to focus on the guy with the notepad?
It's a theme
Yeah. It's like, why do you have to focus on the guy with the notepad? Because he's the executive producer and he's paying for this shit. Okay, fine, let's focus on him some more.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and he's also the guy running the milking machine. Of course he is. And he's also the guy who's on the council. Of course he is. And he's also the guy running the place behind Jason Robards. Of course he is. It's like, oh, piss off. I thought this was a loathsome little film. I mean, I take the influences where you can get them. The fucking your Fallouts and what have you. Fine. You even to a lesser degree, I guess Mad Max. The first Mad Max took a lot from it.
No, second one.
The second one,
yeah,
sorry,
Mad Max 2. Mad Max 1 was.
But the point is that it obviously established a lot of those kind of looks, those kind of post-apocalyptic Raggedy Man kind of things.
Mm.
But just some of it was just fucking insultingly crap. It was just so poorly put together and so poorly thought out, and somewhere along the line, someone thought it was a good idea to have mutants in there, which they wouldn't show you, and ideas which they wouldn't follow through, like when he kills some bloke and nicks a can of beans, and then goes running off, and then the bloke who's watched the guy running away going, "Ha ha, he'll be back. We'll get him again. But at least he's got some guts." And it's like, right, see, in this dog-eat-dog world, pardon the pun, yeah. you in your fucking tricorn hat looking like someone's kids just got hold of the dressing-up box, you, sir, are the biggest villain in the whole thing, and suddenly you're just willing to watch someone run away with all your food.
Yep.
Okay.
Just about summed it up.
Yeah, it was
okay,
that. There was something that Jim said about Day of the Triffids in his last Hypnagoria.
Yeah.
Plug.
Thank you.
No worries. Where you actually say that John Wyndham did one thing very well, which is when he thought of a problem, when he thinks these things up, he thinks into the corners of all the issues and all the problems and follows them through.
Yeah.
This film didn't. He just thought, oh, that'd be a good idea. Don Johnson has a telepathic dog. Why? How would that impact on anyone? There was kind of hints that other people with dogs had telepathic dogs,
yes.
Or people knew that you could talk to the dogs.
Well, that's with Jason Robards and
talking to that terrier.
Yeah. What did you say to him?
Exactly. Tell us. Farm. It's just like, but again, none of it was explored. It was just all thrown in there, and then
I get the impression if you read the Hal Dennison book, you'll find there's a lot more, and you realize kind of.
Yeah,
they took ideas but didn't take the context with it.
Exactly, and that's the thing. It doesn't feel like it's been explored. It just feels like someone just came up with a few ideas on the page and went, "Oh, that looked good." A buggy made out of pipe cleaners, brilliant. Let's have one of them. Oh, by a guy in a tricorn hat beating up people, making them dig holes for beans. Brilliant.
I like the mystery behind the telepathy / is it a computer talking to a dog type thing, because you have the whiz and noise, the computer noises that are behind the dog when he's smelling, and so that does translate to me. Okay, this is set at least 50 years into the future from when it was made, and so maybe they did think that we would be able to talk with our animals that sort of way.
Well, maybe. I mean, if you wanted to do a remake, you just say that the dog, because it was a police dog, is genetically engineered to be in sync with its owner. And maybe I could think of all kinds of ideas for this.
But I like that it wasn't. There wasn't. Oh, your batteries are running down. We need to find some batteries type thing. It wasn't explained at all. You just accepted it for what it was, and sometimes little things like that, which help the story along, don't need to be explained.
No, I get that. I get the idea of not explaining everything. But you've got to, if you're going to do it, then at least show that it's not a one-off, not a rare event, if that's going to be the world you're building.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If he's not a special little unicorn with his talking dog, and there's other people who can do it, then show that they can do it. You know what I mean? Or
I suppose that she shouldn't have turned around and said, "Who you talking to?"
Yeah, who are you talking to? Can you talk to your dog? And then 5 minutes later, there's Jason Robards talking to a West Highland Terrier, going, "If you won't talk, you're going to the farm." It's like, right, okay, it's just And there's the guy who was bringing in the black dog that fights blood, and then there's also the fact that someone else. I think Don Johnson even says, when they know that there's a lady around, that goes, "Oh, do you think there's some other sniffers around as well?" And it's like, oh, so there are people who are carrying dogs to specifically look for women. But I tell you what, speaking of the whole misogyny just stuff, and then we'll get onto feedback, because I think we're just going around in circles, and I think feedbackers are going to dive in on this as well. But the one line that put me straight off of Don Johnson right from the start was when the girl is being attacked right at the very beginning of the film, and he can go in there and he can risk his life and limb and go and save her. And then,
I know the line you mean, when he finds her laying across the end table.
Yeah.
Oh, she was good for a couple more goes.
Yeah, she was good for a couple more goes. It was like, right, you know what? I've checked out. Right there, bang, done. You've done literally. You've had 5 lines of your main character, a couple of lines of the dog, and then what you've done is you've gone, there you go. This is the world you inhabit, and this is the person you're supposed to be rooting for. Well, it's like, well, no, actually, fuck you. I'm not rooting for him at all. In fact, I don't fucking care right now. And given his attitude to someone who was still clearly alive and bubbling in the corner, he couldn't even bother to save her.
Yep.
He just sat down and looked around and checked out for some stuff. And if you want to do that and say, this is how rough world is, and then have him realise that this is what's happened, not necessarily regret, but certainly acknowledge it. But he didn't. He was just like, oh, dang. I didn't quite get it while she was fresh. Sort of thing. It's like, fuck off.
He didn't even kind of put her out of her misery either. He left her laying there gargling away, suffering.
Yeah. So it was just a case of, you know what? Fuck you.
Yep.
Just fuck you. Fuck you, film. Fuck you, everyone in it. And fuck you, everyone. It was just total. I was just complete fuck you by the end of that film. And as for Jason Robards, this is now the 3rd strike of the Black Dog list where he's appeared and acted like a cock, and yet somehow we're supposed to at least somehow empathise with him in some way when he appears.
What was the other one?
He was in Once Upon a Time in the West.
Oh, right, yeah.
As the not quite Mexican bloke who could see the dead but can't see the dead, and then he's going to go and have his way with the lady in a log cabin while
and he's in The Day After.
And
well.
The Day After.
He's another. I don't know if I can't remember if he's an arsehole in that one. But
probably. I mean, it's turning into sort of like he's a good marker of quality for being a shitheel, be honest. So this film and Zardos side by side, I could actually say both of those are a good double bill, because you know what, you hate all the characters in it. You don't give a shit who gets out of any of it, and by the end of it, you just think, they really wanted to do a porn in the 70s set in the science fiction world, didn't they?
Yes.
Because that's all it was, Zardos. Oh, yes.
Look at my patch.
Yeah.
Look at my patch.
It was exactly the same
Big
film.
orange patch, look.
Yeah.
I was down by the post-apocalyptic docks, and I came across a submarine as well.
Yeah.
A big fucking place.
Yeah. It's almost the size of my car.
It is. It's big. Like an airport on deck 4.
But the thing was, Zardos was essentially the same film. Actually, which one came out first? I'll be interested to know. Because
it was A Boy and His Dog.
But
Pretty sure.
But did it come out much earlier? Because I'll tell you what, the idea that you've got some decrepit race calling upon the bestial people from another world to go and repopulate the world with their vitality, so to speak.
No, that goes back way before.
Yeah.
I think that goes back to what they call the Shaver Mystery.
Oh, right.
Which was in the 30s and 40s in pulp magazines. A guy reported he'd been abducted by aliens, but they were aliens from inside the Earth. And his story got madder and madder and madder. But he started a lot of crazy ideas that have been mined a lot by SF. But he had this subterranean race called the Deros, who are some survivors from an ancient civilization who destroyed the world in primeval times, and they lived underground, and they used to harvest people from the surface to replenish their dying stock.
Oh, God. That sounds like, what was those ones? Is it Tor or Gore? The Legends of Gore or the Legends of Tor?
I believe God does owe a debt to the Shaver mystery stories.
Yeah, that was another one with a bunch of barbarians versus ants and lots of ridiculously, this page just always seems to fall open style sex. Hold on, I just opened this book and it always falls open on page 52.
The lingerie section.
Yeah,
Zardoz was the year before A Boy and His Dog.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, well, they are.
Good research there, Jim, on the fly.
The Boy and His Dog was he took ideas from me and my big orange pants.
In fairness, Boy and His Dog is actually slightly better than Zardoz, but Zardoz just wins on being purely nuts.
It's bonkers.
It's off its fucking nut.
It's the only film that gives you big head.
Right.
It certainly does.
And on that note, shall we move on to the feedback, unless someone's got anything to say?
That's what your mum said.
Now put your hands up, here online, doing real fine. We're doing our podcast thing. It's called Black Dog, it's not like a job. Is anyone there listening? What do you think of our show? Let us know by MP3 or email. Just get it to us, it ain't no fuss. We'll even read your Twitter rings. Cause if you like us or you hate us, send some feedback in. Got a geek and point to rates and put some feedback in. If you think my voice is sexy, put some feedback in. Man, we really like it if you put some feedback in.
Right, so feedback time. And so we've got the first bit of feedback this week is from Will Catlin Hallett. Oh, fiendish Dr. Will. And he writes, "Good evening, Black Dog. Well, that's certainly a film. It's hard to know what direction to go with this. There's certain aspects of it that worked very well. The dog clearly was great. The boy, well, he was a complete arse. Reading about it afterwards, I understand that the plot was that he was supposed to have grown up on his own and therefore never learned any morals. But that doesn't make me like him anymore." Absolutely, I totally agree. "But really, the misogyny is just overpowering in this. Everything about the portrayal of Quilla June is cringeworthy, from having perfect hair in the apocalypse to filling the standard manipulative female role. She should have been a strong character. Surely any survivor, even living underground, would have had a certain strength. But all we got was a weak, pathetic caricature whose desire to rule the down under was not as powerful as the driving force as her needing to be a victim. To be fair, by the time we got to the last scene, I was shouting at the screen that he should have shot the girl and fed her to the dog. But that was more to put her out of her misery than having to play such a character before she spent any more time simpering and undermining her entire self-worth. I think the problem with this film came from the fact that he tried to give major contrast between the good, honest, light upper world and evil, manipulative, dark underworld. In reality, the differences would have been much less clear-cut, and the line above between good and evil much more tenuous. You could have got a whole lot of mileage out of exploring the shades of grey, but looking at what needed to survive under different circumstances, whether above or below ground. Vic, was not a good character, but we were meant to sympathise with him and root for him, and the only thing I wanted to do was him to be nice to the dog. At least he could have done was bandage him up and set his leg before abandoning him in the sun-blasted desert with no food. Thank you." Insert, what's his name? What's his name from bloody Despicable Me? Brick Tannen. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Oh, Steve Carell.
Steve Carell doing the thank you gif. There you go. Sorry, that's all I was after. That said, I did like a lot of the aesthetic. The desert scenes came across as cheap but effective way of showing a nuclear landscape. There seems to have been lots of people running around everywhere, though. The down under painted faces and constant recipe announcements over a tannoy were wonderfully surreal and slightly macabre. I would have liked to have seen a bit more of that actual society and how they cope with the constant barrage of noise and celebration, which appears to be continuing 24/7 under there. given more energy and time, I think there's a lot more to discuss about this film. Historical backstory of how Blood knew it, the Howlers, the fact that one gang lets Vic steal from them without chasing them down, and so on. But I'll leave that to you guys for tonight. Till next time, Fiendish Dr. Will. Well, thank you very much for that, Will. I don't think we're going to discuss it any further than anyone else, to be honest. It's all implied and nothing really gets resolved, and you can't really tell about any of it, can you, really?
No.
There's no point you sort of sit there and go, oh, yeah, the Howlers, this is how they work, or this is what they were about. It's like, no, they're a glowing green light, and they make a sort of vaguely zombie noise.
The whole world is really in between the lines, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of those kind of you only get out of it what you decide to fill in the blanks with. Really, it's not like Blade Runner where all the information's there if you want to look at it. It's just, I think, like I said before, the closer you get to any kind of background information being sort of shown and not told is the fact that everyone has to dig for stuff.
Yeah.
But it does make that even more ridiculous when they're in the building. And the only way in was through a 6-foot drop to the roof, implying that everything was underground. And yet, when the guys who are upstairs start coming in, suddenly the dog goes, they're on the ground floor. They must have found another way in. It's like, how? Where? Did they dig? What? But anyway, so, yeah, as much as there could be a lot to discuss about this, I don't think the film gives us a lot to play with, to be honest. But, Anyway, thank you very much for that, Fiendish Dr. Will. Hope you're well, and we'll speak to you soon, no doubt. So, Darren, who do you have next?
I will tell you in just a second when my
phone decides
email.
to cooperate.
Yeah, there we go. Aha! Yes, here we go. We have Gregory Madden.
Okay, Gregory Madden.
Yes.
He of the good ship USS Black Dog.
Indeed. And his mail is entitled "Mr. Peabody in Sherman Goes Nuclear."
Okay.
And he writes, "Greetings, Darren, Lee, Jim, Elton, and that post-apocalyptic terror, Mr. Owl."
Wake up, you feathered fiend. No, not you.
Jesus. Jim, not you got the wrong howler. The howler, not the hooter. Anyway, carry on.
This week we start a new season with a boy and his dog, or what I like to call it, Mr. Peabody and Sherman Goes Nuclear. When I first saw this show on the docket, I had no clue what to expect, but I envisioned something like Old Yeller or Lassie set in an atomic wasteland, or maybe a precursor to I Am Legend. But I was so wrong. After watching this, I thought I must have had a rather low budget. It must have had a rather low budget, but I didn't see, or I may have overlooked, what its actual budget was. Assuming it was a lower budget film, I thought they did a very good job on a few of the set pieces they used. Although I do think one of the biggest drawbacks of this genre is how they love to use the desert wasteland trope so much. When I finished this movie, I took a day or so to think of what I wanted to say about it. During this time, I looked it up on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. Both of them listed the show as a dark comedy. The comedy is something I never saw in it, but I saw the dark part very much. Well, what did I think of it? This movie is truly cringeworthy. Now, I'm sure that most of my points have been covered already, but I have to say the thing that stuck with me the most was not the endless dialogue between Blood and Vic. It also wasn't the fact that Quilla was just wanting Vic so she could take power in the underworld. Yeah. The thing that struck me was that Vic only wanted to find a girl and rape her, and that's what bothers me to no end. Yes. It bothered me enough to be a distraction throughout the whole show. Only now I've started to think of other things that were in the movie, like the underground civilization, where it was, be happy or die, and everybody wears a white face to look happy. Wasn't there a video game with the same setting as that? Yeah, but it's set in England, and it's all about a bloke who doesn't take the happy pill, and so he becomes like an outcast.
Wasn't it also the look of BioShock as well? Some of the guys in BioShock.
Some of those, yeah. It's the I think they're called the Reavers.
Yeah,
it's the guys that run around trying to attack you anyway in BioShock. Those guys. Okay, so my mind is wandering. So to wrap it up, this is a movie that sets no thank you section of my. So to wrap it up, this is a movie that sits in no thank you section of my movie library. So until next week, from the USS Black Dog security post, I wish you all the best, Mr. Worf, Greg Madden.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Worf. Greg, thank you very much for that, sir.
Indeed.
From the security post of the USS Black Dog. Yeah, and just to reiterate, it won't be next week. It won't be until the 5th of September.
Yep.
Because I'm off next week, Darren's off the week after, and yeah, that's that. So, yes, we'll speak to you then, I'm sure. So, thank you very much. Yeah, you've pretty much covered everything we have, so not a lot to really add, but, you know, thank you very much for your feedback, sir. And, yeah, you can't sympathise, empathise, or generally get along with a character who's just so abhorrent in his views in here.
Yep.
And it's over the course of 5 days. You know,
Yep.
5 days and the whole world goes to pot. Yes. But anyway, so thank you again, sir. And, yeah, we'll speak to you soon. So, Jim, who do we have next?
Well, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the Pie Man.
Murray the Pie Man Christensen. And what does he have to say?
Hi, guys. Well, I've been looking forward to Jessica Fletcher's apocalypse. Sadly, my own version of an apocalypse happened in the form of a camping trip. But hopefully, I've made it back from the cursed earth. Well, a field. But there wasn't Wi-Fi. I mean, yes, a decent 3G signal, but no Wi-Fi. To give feedback. Like a couple of you, I had definitely seen this one before, possibly as part of Moviedrome. At the time, I don't think I got through it all, so watching it now, this is kind of odd. On one hand, our protagonist isn't some kind of loner, wandering, solving problems. He's a scavenger looking to get his end away. I wonder if this was an attempt to subvert the genre a little by having our main protagonist as the kind of person who's usually killed by Mad Max at the half-hour mark. Having a smart aleck dog companion was odd, but the dog acted very well. In fact, this film had some pretty decent dog acting, all things considered. I had kind of figured the people in the bunker would be some form of nutters. I'm sure the guy who did the Moviedrome intros would have probably put it as a rejection of the conservatives' rights ideal or something. But I accept this might be the first appearance of the crazy bunker people trope, but it was expected. Similarly, I worked out that the big farmer guy was a robot as soon as he crushed a windpipe. I was hoping some proper 1970s face with circuits behind it, but you can't have everything.
No.
The ending caught me by surprise, though. Didn't see that coming at all. In fact, the girl is an odd part of this. I was going to rant about how quickly she went from our protagonist victim to willing lover, but then we have the reveal it was all planned to by her and trying actually to be head crazy bunker person, to eventually her being lunch. Yes, not sure how I feel about that. The film did some rather clever things. Firstly, it didn't over-explain the connection between our protagonist and the dog. Second, while we didn't get too much info on the screamers, the dialogue quite naturally hints at them being very radioactive. They glow green and blood attacking one gets him burned. The bloke with the cart, though, what was he all about? The film does take ages to get going. The whole cinema scene was way, way too drawn out and frankly showed too much of the movie. But once it was going, it wasn't bad. Okay, the initial bunker scene was probably drawn out a bit too much as well. Overall, not something I'd watch again, but I can see why it has a certain cult status, or is at least something that film buffs like to examine. So do keep up the good work, and I'm preparing my spiky budget, spiky boots and genuine leather-ain't chaps for more cheap apocalypse goodness. Bye for now, Murray Pieman Christensen.
Thank you very much for that, Pie Man, the apocalyptic Pie Man.
The Return of the Pie Man.
Return of
So it
the
could
Pie.
almost be Return of the Pie Shepherds. See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw what you did there, yeah. So, yeah, well, thank you very much for that, sir. I mean, wow, he gave it fairer shrift than I would have. I mean, Jesus. I mean, half an hour too long is the least of its problems, I think. I mean, because I can definitely attest to the fact you can watch this at 1.5 speed, and it actually doesn't change at all. apart from the bit where he climbs down into the bunker, actually only takes about 2 minutes, as opposed to like what feels like an hour and 3/4 before finally gets knocked on the head. But anyway, thank you very much for that, sir. And do keep your leather chaps to one side. When we return on the 5th of September. So we'll speak to you then, no doubt. And thank you very much for that. So, Elton, who do we have next?
I have in front of me Fred, Dr. Scum, Lubnow.
Our resident nod, wink, wink hitman of LovecraftianScience.wordpress.com. And what does he have to say?
Okay, right. He says, "Hello, Black Dog crew. Hope all is well.
Mm-hmm.
A Boy and His Dog is a quirky little film I saw in college many moons ago. Thus, this was a welcome rewatch. I remember it being strange, but I forgot how strange. While its tone approaches comedic, I think it's better described as surreal. The linchpin of this movie is the relationship between Don Johnson's character, Vic, and the dog, Blood. They interact and argue like two very old friends or family members. The film has a number of layers or themes that it explores, such as, number 1, post-apocalyptic fairy tale. Number 2, how strange the middle-class culture of the 1950s seems to the 1970s and beyond. Number 3, be careful what you wish for. You may get it. Number 4, how a society composed of a small group of individuals can really diverge from what is considered mainstream. Number 5, know who to trust and who really cares for you. Towards the end of the film, when Vic has to choose between his true and loyal friend and the person who seems only motivated by her own selfish desire, his decision does not seem strange. However, that does not mean the final resolution was expected. Even after all these years, the end of that movie really grabs you. One final note. The bath scene really went on way too long.
Oh, God, that bloody
God, I
bath
forgot
scene.
about that.
Fucking washing Don Johnson in the bath with some strange Cletus the Slack George yokel fat boy trying to brush him while music plays like like an excerpt from fucking Last of the Summer Wine incidental music plays over the background. Oh,
all of the Slack George locals sort of like, watching him in the bath as well, because that's the biggest form of entertainment in that village.
While the bloody, what was his name, the executive producer once again appears on screen looking meaningfully into his notepad.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. This film.
Act as if you're trying to get out of the bath, but don't get out the bath. Pretend that they really got you in there.
Yeah.
Well, a big grinning hillbilly kind of hold you in.
Hold you down.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway,
carry on.
Overall, a strange film, but I would strongly recommend it, and it is worth a viewing, particularly for those who enjoy cult films. Thank you, Black Dog. Fred, Dr. Scum, Lubnow. P.S.
Oh.
More than likely, I will not be contributing feedback to next week's film. I will be attending the Necronomicon in Providence, Rhode Island, where I will be giving 2 talks, one on 2 panels, and moderating 2 panels.
Ooh.
If anyone comes up to me and tells me who the official mascot of the Black Dog podcast is, I'm looking at you, Mr. Owl, I will buy them a beverage.
Well, I believe Mr. Justin Woodman of this parish is also doing a talk at Necromicon as well. So
wow, there you go.
Black Dog contingent at the premier Lovecraft Festival.
Well, there you go. So if any Black Doggers attending the Rhode Island Necronomicon in Providence, hold on. What he said? Who's the official mascot? Mr. Owl.
Yeah, the question is, if anyone comes up to me and tells me who the official mascot of the Black Dog podcast is, I'm looking at you, Mr. Owl. I will buy them a beverage.
Oh, dear.
We could all go. We could all get a pint each.
Yeah.
I'll probably fuck it up, though. I'll get it wrong.
It's a bit of a flight, to be honest, to go for a pint, isn't it, really?
Let's do it.
Yeah, all right.
When is it? Hold on. Is it next week?
Yeah.
I can't do it.
All right. I can't do it. I'm not here. Well, I was gonna say Winston the dog, but hey, you know what? I think Mr. Owl's there. I think Mr. Owl's knocked old Winston off. Old Winston. Jeez. Well, there you go. The way the world changes, doesn't it?
It's frightening.
So there you go. So if anybody finds Dr. Scum, Fred, then do have a word. Do say hello. And if anyone sees Justin Woodman as well of this parish, also floating about, do say hello to him as well. And in fact, if you two meet up, Justin and Fred, take a photograph and stick it on the Facebook group, because then it'll be the first international shindig.
You could be like our international agents.
Yeah.
Yes, you could.
Our people out
Make
there.
sure, though, when you speak to everybody, you speak with a Sean Connery accent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell them about this massive submarine you've got parked out the back.
Yeah.
You'll be so fucking impressed. It's my pad. It takes me around. It goes under the sea and shit.
Has its own 1,000-seater stadium.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so well, there you go. So there you go. We could have a first international shindig. There you go. There's a few people in America that go over there, can't they? I'm sure it's all not too far away from itself. Baltimore, Rhode Island, New York. I mean, what the hell? It's all close, isn't it?
It's all just around the corner.
It's all bus rides, isn't it?
You could officially pop over.
Nice. Right. Anyway, well, thank you very much for that, Fred. And again, if you want to hear more of Fred's musings, then pop over to his WordPress site, which is lovecraftianscience.wordpress.com. Or, as he's already said, attend Necronomicon in Providence, Rhode Island, and he's giving 2 talks on 2 panels and moderating 2 other panels. So there you go. It'd be hard not to find him, to be honest, from the sound of it. Unless, of course, there's about 10,000 panels going on in this con. If it's the premier Lovecraftian convention, there might be 1,000 halls or something. In which case, yeah, good luck. Anyway, so until next time, we'll speak to you guys later. Right, so thank you very much. And finally, we move on to our last bit of written feedback. And it's from Richard Tingley. And his subject is, "There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road." Anyway, and he says, "Hello to the Black Doggeteers, Lethos, Darranimus, Jimos, Eltigan, and the pun-strangling Cardinal Richlau." There he is. Sleepy bastard. Needs to wake up. Anyway. Well, this was a bit of an odd duck of a movie. I haven't made my mind up on whether I like it or not. It might be because the movie hasn't really made its mind up on whether what it is either. Is it a disturbing dark treatise on the objectification of women and the degradation of society? Is it a knockabout apocalyptic romp starring Kevin Costner? Sorry, Don Johnson. I keep doing that. And he's talking dog, voiced by Kelsey Grammer. Is it a comedy? Is it a horror? What is it? It's a movie of halves of unfinished ideas. What were the screamers? Why can Don, and his dog communicate? How did the society get set up underground? What's with all the makeup? What was the farm? Why can't they make androids? Why is it it asks so many questions and it doesn't answer any of them. The problem is that they've taken all these ideas and stuffed them into an hour and a barnard of a movie, which doesn't give them much room to breathe. For instance, I have this feeling that it's going to be one of those contentious points of the discussion about the movie, the treatment of women. Sorry. This film is presented seems to be saying that women are objects to be used, abused, and literally treated as meat. But that's fine because women are duplicitous and are only out to use you to get what they want. So it's fine. Treat them terribly. But then they counterpoint this by saying, look, look at all the men. They're all disgusting animals operating only on baser instincts and raw bestial urges. And in the end, the main character is used as a stud to fertilize all the women so that he gets what he deserves, the filthy beast. And the only animal in the film is actually more intelligent, cultured than the human, although he is a massive dick, and certainly much more intelligent than the actual other humans. There's nothing wrong with exploring any of these ideas, even if they're wrong and you disagree with them. They can make for a lot of interesting debate, but this movie is a length at which is, let's face it, already stuffed full of unexplored ideas, and you lose all nuance and just get, I need a shag. Let's have a rape, and here's some tits. Ow, I've been hit. Now I've been milked. Now we've escaped. Let's eat the bitch. Cut to the latest hobo-style music and an end credits scene. Did I like it? I liked it for what it could have been, and if they made a TV series out of it, I bet they could do a better job. But for what was presented, and after much thought, it just left me cold, and I would be happy not to see it again in this form. Oh, and as a footnote, I lost my virginity in front of the dog, so I can empathise with Kevin. Sorry, Don. I really not really, but now I have some idea of what my poor pet is thinking, and I can no longer look back on any experience with any sort of pleasure or nostalgia. On to the next one. Richard, it's still not got a decent nickname other than the childish snigger about the whole Dick Tingley thing, which I now own, so shut up about it and think of a good one, Tingley. Oh, thank you very much for that, Dick. Rich. Rick, I don't know. For what it's worth, the Tingley Dick Rick Tingley Dick Tingley thing was given over by someone formerly of this parish, Herc, and we place no ownership upon that name. So anyway, we'll think of a new name for you, sir. Anyway, you're going to turn up on our horror season, aren't you? Doing Wolf Cop as a co-host.
Hey.
So don't worry, we'll think of something then, I'm sure. So anyway, thank you very much for the feedback. It's interesting, that one, because it is one of those ones where it's like, I think he's right. It's a case of all these ideas, not enough time to explore them, and then basically reducing the film down, which is pretty much what you were saying, Jim, about like the novel's probably about 1,000 times more packed with nuance and information and interest. Whereas this thing's been pared down to, as he put it, I need a shag, let's have a rape, here's some tits, ow, I've been hit, now I've been milked, now I've escaped, let's eat the bitch, lit list, hobo style, end credits. I think that's the entire film. In fact, if we still did funny titles, that'd probably be what we call this entire film.
I think so.
But anyway, thank you very much for that, Richard. And yeah, like I say, we'll think of a name for you, sir. Don't worry. There's plenty of time. Good feedback. And right, that's the end of the written feedback. So does anybody have anything else to add before we move on to our MP3?
Nope.
Nope. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Fine. Well, thank you again to everyone who's written in, and we'll move on to our piece of written feedback, MP3 feedback, which is Michael Kent Cornett. Now, before we go any further, I would just like to say that I did mean to mention last week, but didn't get around to it, the fact that I listened to Michael and his performance troupe doing Day the Earth Stood Still.
Oh, cool. How was it?
It was actually very good. I really enjoyed it. It passed a nice hour and a half going down to Bristol. Well, I say going down to Bristol. What I'm talking about when I'm travelling around on the train.
And can one acquire a copy
yes,
of
you
the
can.
audio?
It is on the Book of Face in the Facebook group.
Fantastic.
And it's under a post that Michael put up. And it's a Google Drive file that you just download.
Excellent.
And it's very good.
I enjoyed it.
Cool. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, it was a good laugh. So I enjoyed it. I sat on the train. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Passed an hour and a half quite nicely, thanks. So do listen to that. And the only thing that I had a problem with was the fact that because I've heard Michael's voice before, as soon as he appeared on the soundtrack, I knew it was him. And it was just like, there he is. Then he was another voice. I think he's a G-man, and he's a general, and he's a couple of other voices.
Hello, Black Dogger.
No, he didn't do any of that. But the thing was, you know, as soon as you can hear a voice, you go, oh, there he is.
I know who he is.
But then people would go, General Schneebly or whatever it was, and it's sort of, this is Federal G-Man Barnes or something, and it's like, no, it's Michael. No, get it out of my head. Yeah, I think I'd be all right if I'd actually seen it performed, but it was just one of those things. You know, when you kind of you're doing a Pavlov's dog, you kind of every time the voice turned up, it was like, it's him. There he is. I can hear him. Ooh. It's a bit like being like a proud parent at the school play, going, "Oh, there he is! There he is! Hello, wave, hello." Anyway, but it was very good. I did enjoy it.
Lovely,
and I still think Day of the Earth is still a very good film, even in radio form.
Yes,
but there you go. And very prescient given the current political climate.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, right, let's move on and let's hear what Michael Cornett thought of this film.
Good evening, Black Doggers. Good evening to Lee, Darren, Jim, and Elton. This is Mike Cornett, the Belly Stapler, your man in Baltimore. On my own tonight. Voldar's busy in the tapioca mines. I'm just not in the mood. I mean, we're teetering on the brink of nuclear war, and Nazis are marching the streets of American cities, and I feel like crap. But, anyway, I got some kind of bug. I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, A Boy and His Dog. I rented this from my local video store back in like 1989, 1990, something like that. It's over 25 years ago. Fuck. But I wasn't crazy about it then. I don't think I understood what was going on, really. I think I was just looking for some good fun science fiction adventure, and instead I get weirdness. It's a movie that, watching it again, I can't say I liked it. I respected it. I mean, and it's like there's some things that are kind of interesting to think about. You know, like Vic and Blood are wandering this blighted landscape, and this can be almost like, you know, the libertarian view of the world. It's like every man for himself, and all the no central government, just all these little clutches, and the people doing their own rules and enforcing things their own way, and you've got the rugged individual wandering around. Of course, everything's shit. You're in a desert. You're scrounging for food. You know, all that kind of stuff. And then you contrast that with another community, which is conservative small-town America, fossilized in amber, and everything's very regimented. There's this totalitarian regime. You're living this vision of America's past, and which is just totally fucking warped, and it's diseased, and you know it's dying out because people can't breed, and it's just, I mean, it's like the movie's giving us two different sides of a conservative right-wing coin here. Like, you either have the libertarian bleak desert where everyone's scrounging for just to survive, or you have the totalitarian theocratic, more enforced morality hell. And there's no solutions offered to anything. There's no hope for the world at the end of this. There's no solution to the blighted lands of the surface. And when they leave Topeka, it's just things are going to continue the way they were. It's just a few people died. There's no solution to anything. Stuff just keeps going. Which, I guess is more realistic, although not quite as satisfying from a cinematic viewpoint. Really, this is like, just the shittiness of how life would be after a war, and the shittiness of a fragmented society. And I'm just sitting here staring at the wall thinking of the shittiness of things going on in the world right now. The shittiness of things going on in my own fucking country right now. Guys, I'm so fucking sorry. I really am so fucking sorry for what's going on here. But anyway, I'm nattering. But yeah, this is just it's an interesting thing to watch at this point in human history. So, and why am I talking to you guys when I should be going out doing something? Well, I gotta focus on something. God damn it. But anyway, yeah, Boy and His Dog, an interesting rewatch. Not something I'm likely to go back to at any point. Yeah, so maybe Voldar will be back next week if I'm in the mood. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'll talk to y'all later. You guys take care. Mwah. Bye.
Thank you for that, Michael. Yeah, interesting idea. Poorly executed. I think that's the best way of. I think that's the best way of putting it forward. Pretty much like Richard put forward as well, and to a lesser degree, us idiots.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to apologise for your country.
I was going to say that. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
It's not your fault, you know.
No. Hey ho. I mean, you know, it's happening. Whatever is happening, and it's just getting more and more insane out there. I think. Isn't there a quote about? What are you doing?
Hold on. There is something was put up earlier on that I've shared to my Facebook wall. It's basically Captain America pulling Bucky Barnes, you know, the soldier out of cryogenic suspension.
Go on, you read that.
I'll find it. Just keep talking for a minute.
Well, all I was going to say was I'm sure there's a quote about people. You know, the worst thing about history is there are people who are doomed to live it. I can't remember what the bloody quote is, but essentially we are living through some weird shit in history right now, and we just got to kind of go, you know what?
Yeah.
We will all come out the other side, and, you know, this will pass.
It will always. It comes in waves and whatever. This sort of thing. It goes from good to bad and then back to good again.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite this bad, but,
no.
You know.
It is basically two men with small dicks in a dick-waving competitive thing at the moment between America and thing as well going on, North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. There's this
Nazis.
Thing. It's crazy. It's a crazy fucking world. But I found the thing here.
But anyways, a happy segue to Bucky Barnes and Captain America.
It says, "What's happening? Black Panther just unfroze me. He said you needed me for an emergency mission." And then Captain America says, "We've got a big problem in America, Buck. Nazis are marching in the streets bearing arms, forming militias, attacking women and minorities who voice dissent, and the government won't stop them or even speak out against them. Dear God, how long was I frozen? Like a year. Shit's gotten weird, Buck."
Yeah.
That
Great.
sums it up.
Well, there you go. So really what's happening is the Black Dog's not really going on hiatus for 2 weeks. What's actually happening is we're all going to do our sort of best mid-year Dancing with Tears in Their Eyes moment.
Yep.
Just all go and...
I'm handing each member a shovel. We're going to dig a bunker.
Digging for 2 weeks.
Yeah. But, I mean, to be quite honest, like I say, I thought, it's bloody awful what's going on, and it just doesn't make anyone happier to just to turn on the news and deal with this shit. But deal with it we will, and deal with it we must, and in our own ways. And like I say, it's always darkest before the dawn, I suppose, is what they say. And you know what? It was really shit before they got rid of Nixon.
Yep.
And
we had this sort of thing going off once before as well with the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Well, I don't think this is quite the same.
Well, what? You mean to say the threat of nuclear war?
Well, I'm not talking about
being
that.
2 minutes away from possibility. I think
that.
so.
I'm talking about the bloody Nazis. I mean, the war, the Korean thing is just saber rattling. I wasn't worried about that for a second, but the Nazi thing is just that's a different.
That's all over
fish.
the place.
That's more of a like half the country or whatever population is just completely mad, just suddenly getting emboldened by an absolute arsehole who won't actually come out and, isolate what he knows to be his voting audience.
Well, I think possibly one thing to come out of the whole thing about Nazis sort of like coming out into the open there is the fact that these people have now exposed themselves. So when it all turns back again, we know exactly who they are because they've come out, they've struck out. Probably people who were quite in the closet about being this right wing, and now thinking, oh, it's safe because
there is a Twitter account called Hey a Racist, where they have actually started to identify the people in the photographs.
Really?
And sending emails to their bosses.
Excellent.
Which is quite nice.
Name and fucking shame.
Yeah, exactly. Followed by News Thump posting up a brilliant news story saying Nazi feeling upset that he's been exposed as a Nazi in public. But anyway, so don't worry about it, Michael. And everyone's having a bit of existential angst in one way or another, and a bit of depression, and a bit of switching on the news and feeling like Captain Picard going damage report every time you turn on the fucking telly. So don't worry, we're all on the same page, mate.
Every time I see Trump on the telly now, it's like, oh no, what's he done now?
Oh, what now?
Well, he's given a press conference tonight and said there was bad people on both sides. There was good people on both sides.
Oh,
what?
Fuck me.
Yep.
The funny thing is, by the time I've actually mastered this podcast and uploaded it, the silly old fucker's probably gone and done something even more stupid than what we've just gone, oh no. It's going to turn into a civil war. I think it's actually going to go that bad. I think it's going to end up with like half the people trying to kick him out and the militia holding him in place.
I think so.
It's going to turn into a fucking failed state.
Maybe. You never know.
It's almost laughable.
It's heading.
If it's not so terrifying. But anyway, oh God. News and political discussion here on the Black Dog podcast, which just involves us just sitting around going, oh, for fuck's sake.
And now on the Black Dog, the fluff piece. Somewhere out there in Cornwall, there's a small chihuahua that's learned how to surf. Good night.
Yeah. This is why we're never going to be on the BBC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And now welcome to Open Source on the BBC News Channel. I'm just going to press this button here and see what's going. What the fuck is that?
It's just a bloke reading the newspaper going, what the fuck? What the fuck?
And now tomorrow in
what
the
papers say.
What the papers say. Fucking hell, Christ.
That is what the papers are going to be saying tomorrow.
Yeah, oh, for fuck's sake. There's just a picture. There's
What's
just
that cunt said now?
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be just a picture of someone with their head in their hands and the newspaper just rolled up at their feet. It's like, oh Christ, what's he done now?
Political commentary program. It will just open up and it will be a full sort of like 3 minutes of a bloke just drinking from a whiskey bottle
with his just one finger up.
Yeah, exactly.
Archer style, just drinking.
And then out comes a tourniquet and he goes
goes vein deep with 12 mils of skank.
Welcome to Newsnight.
Yeah, exactly. Evan Davis out of his nut on fucking chasing the dragon. Right. Anyway, so I don't know where we're going with that. So anyway, chin up, Michael, for what it's worth. That silly comment. But yeah, hopefully you'll be okay. Just remember, it'll all be okay. I hope it'll be okay. And we'll move on now to say thank you to everyone who sent in feedback for this film. We will be carrying on our apocalypse season, which is ironically timed, really. Our Jessica Tandy... Was it Jessica
Tandy?
Jessica Fletcher. Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving, the porn version, Driving Miss Daisy Crazy.
Yeah. Plow. No.
Pile driving
Miss Daisy. No, yeah. Miss Daisy's trunk.
DPing.
No. Stop right there. No. Stop right there. Just no. Oh, sakes.
Was it DVDA?
Just no. No.
Don't go there.
Just don't go there.
I thought you meant the DVLA. Sorry.
No, I've just got pictures of Jar Jar Binks dancing in my head. It's the only thing to keep me distracted from the conversation going on right now. So we will be carrying on the Jessica Fletcher's Guide to the Apocalypse.
Angela Lansbury. No, wait a minute.
I said
Jessica Fletcher. No, it's Jessica Fletcher.
Every time I say the name, you change it.
Oh,
fucking hell, fire. What we'll be doing with the three of us, me, Jim and Elton, while Darren convalesces in Pokey Oaks Old People's Home.
Take me there now.
I'll drop you off there, mate. I will. I'll
Okay.
drop you right in the fucking central reservation.
Bet you fucking will.
We're in fucking Eastbourne. Leave you there. We'll be doing what was it? Damnation Alley,
Yep.
aka George Peppard's Big Trak adventure.
Mm-hmm. Join George on the fun bus to Doomsday.
That's the Doomsday.
You've got an extra 2 weeks. I might try and read the actual original Roger Zelazny novel just to see
Whether or
how
not
the film totally fucked it up.
Yeah, see if that also features a big sort of like wide cardboard flooring with lots of sort of like dead cockroaches nailed to it, and we're asked to believe that that's an oncoming marching army of mutant cockroaches.
Yeah. Whether or not I put a pinboard with some dots on it counts as counts as an army of cockroaches. So has anyone who has seen this film?
I have.
You have.
I have.
Okay, and Jim,
I've definitely seen some of it.
Elton.
I don't think so.
I'll be honest with you. I've only seen bits of it.
I've
never seen it all. Okay, so what did you think of it last time?
It's a real cheap and nasty apocalypse film. I remember how the ending goes, and it's just kind of like, oh, we've got to where we need to be, and everything seems to have cleared up now.
Oh, thanks for the spoiler.
I'm talking about the rash that George acquires.
So, if nobody else has seen this film, we don't need to see it anymore. Thanks, Dale. You can watch it. You can watch it on your own. We'll just sit back. I'll just hit record and just go home.
There's lots of exciting things happening between.
Oh, I bet there is.
There's the pinboard full of cockroaches.
No, that bit I have seen.
And Jan Michael Vincent.
Yeah, well.
You spend 90 minutes wondering how he can see where the fuck he's going when he doesn't open his eyes.
Well, he managed to do Airwolf all right.
Yeah, almost crashed that fucker as well. It's just because they're in the bald eyes going, still off, you stupid cunt.
Pull up. Whoa.
He's got to stick up his arse.
Whoa. Anyway, so we will be... Jim...
Peter Stringfellow Hawk. Oh, can you imagine that? Airwolf with Peter Stringfellow. What that would have been like.
Airwolf.
Yeah,
Thongwolf.
Hairwolf. That'd just be his description. That'd be his own name. He'd have that on the front door. Hairwolves.
There'd be a sexy version of lots of saxophone in the theme tune as well.
Jesus Christ. Man,
They're leopard skin flight suits.
I met him once.
Now that sounds like Megaforce.
Yeah.
What's it sound like?
Megaforce.
Megaforce.
Barry Bostwick.
Oh my God, no!
Super.
Jesus Christ, Jim! Don't encourage him. He'll be going on into October with this fucking crap.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll move on. So, if you want to send in feedback for Damnation Alley, you've got 2 weeks because we won't be here next week because I'll be away, and we won't be here the week after because Darren will be away, and then we'll be back on the 5th of September. Send your feedback in to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com. And Jim, Elton, let's tout your wares while you're at it. Jim, you go first.
Okie dokie. On my own show, I'm just starting a 3-part series on Day of the Triffids. The episode that came out this weekend, I'm talking about the original novel, and the one coming out this weekend is looking at various audio adaptations and the 1962 movie version.
Starring Howard Keel?
Starring Howard Keel.
Nice.
And an ice cream van.
And his jaunty sailor's hat.
Oh,
yes.
What a beautiful... my fucking eyeballs!
Yeah. By the way, I have to say, your dulcet tones were echoing across my garden when I got back into London on Sunday, because I got back into London and I started painting some doors in the kitchen doors. So I was taking the doors off the kitchen units, taking them into the garden, and I've got my little Bluetooth speaker now. So I've been listening to Hypnagoria in the garden about Triffids while painting doors.
Perfect.
There you go. And as I was doing the rollers on the doors, we got the paint was going. So it's like, wow, there you go. That's the full surround sound experience. So yeah, I enjoyed
Proper
that.
4D.
Yeah, it was. It was like you were standing right behind me, and there was a Triffid in the garden. It was just like, or maybe that was just the paint fumes I was huffing at that point. Right, okay. So Elton, what about you, sir?
You can catch me on the Band of Brothers podcast. We put another episode out yesterday, and that will be on iTunes. And if you can't find it on there or your other podcatcher things, then pop along to road2media.com and you can find it on there. And this Thursday the 17th, I will be joined by Mr. Jim Moon.
Yes, indeed.
On the Shonky Lab, where we'll be talking about conspiracies.
Nice. Cool. Righty, and where can we hear you on? Where's the Mixler? Will the Mixler be running?
The Mixler, yes. We'll be going live around about 9 o'clock. So bring Twiglets and other nibbles, because it is also the 100th episode of Shonky Lab.
Congratulations.
And you can find it on mixler.com/road2media.
There you go. So that's about it, really. You can hear me on Space Doc Jury, spacedocjury.com. There you go. We're recording
nice and concise.
We're recording one, I think, either Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. I'm going to be in Margate one way or the other, and then coming back at late at night and talking spaceships, or maybe I'm going to be doing it on Wednesday. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm sure I've written it somewhere. Anyway, so do join us for that. Usually out every Sunday. Right. Well, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton. And yes, we'll see you. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Damnation Alley, the 5th of September. And if we don't hear you on the 5th of September, then we'll see you at the Shindig on the 9th.
We certainly will.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So we're just skipping the whole of August now. We're just going into suspended animation in August.
Fuck it.
So there you go. So thanks again for listening. Thank you very much for listening up to this point, and we'll see you all next time. Until then, take care. Tatty, bye.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on.
Oh, bollocks to it.